Hold up, picture this. A legendary Toyota pickup name making a comeback, not creeping in quietly, but rolling up with confidence, wrapped in a bold golden finish that catches the light from a mile away. This is the 2026 Toyota Stout is back, and today on DriveZone Meter, we're taking a real-world first look at whether this revived nameplate is Toyota's sneaky answer to trucks like the Hilux, Ford Ranger, and even the Tacoma, or if it's carving out its own lane. This isn't a studio brochure breakdown. This is the kind of walk-around you'd get if we were standing next to the truck, circling it, pointing at details, and asking the tough questions. So let's start where every honest pickup shows its true character, from the back. From the backside, the 2026 Toyota Stout 4X4 looks like it means business. The stance is wide, planted, and unapologetically truck-like. That golden paint gives it a premium glow under the sun, but the shape itself is all about work. This isn't a tail end designed to look fancy in mall parking lots. It's designed to get scratched, dusty, and dirty without losing its dignity. The tailgate feels broad and solid, like it's ready to take on construction gear during the week and camping equipment on the weekend. Compared to the Ford Ranger's more stylized rear design, the Stout's backside feels old-school tough in a good way. Less show, more substance. The tail lamps are simple, clean, and clearly built to stay visible through rain, dust, and mud. When you're driving home late after a long day on rough roads, that kind of visibility actually matters. Be honest, do you prefer a rear design that looks flashy on Instagram, or one that looks like it could survive years of real work? Moving along to the left side, the Stout's personality really starts to come through. The side profile is boxy in a confident, purposeful way. Not outdated, not trying too hard, just solid. The golden paint stretches across straight, clean body lines, giving the truck a strong presence without screaming for attention. This is where you can see Toyota's focus on function over gimmicks. Compared to lifestyle pickups like the Hyundai Santa Cruz, which lean more toward crossover vibes, the Stout looks like a proper truck, taller, tougher, and more ready to get its tires dirty. The wheel arches are muscular but not exaggerated, and the ground clearance immediately hints that this thing is meant to leave the pavement behind. Even the side steps feel like they're there for a reason, making it easier to hop in whether you're wearing work boots or just heading out for groceries. Could you actually see yourself daily driving something like this? Or does a truck need to stay in weekend warrior mode for you? As we walk around to the right side, the design stays consistent, and honestly, that's a compliment. There's a calm confidence in symmetry. Toyota didn't try to make one side flashy and the other side different just for the sake of design tricks. The proportions feel balanced. The doors look thick and reassuring, and the overall stance gives off that quiet sense of durability. Compared to something like the Isuzu D-Max, the Stout feels just a bit more refined without losing that rugged edge. In this golden finish, it manages to walk that thin line between premium and practical. It looks like a truck you wouldn't be afraid to park at a job site, but you also wouldn't mind pulling up to a nice restaurant inn. What do you think? Does this golden color elevate the Stout's look? Or would you still stick with the classic white, black, or silver for a pickup like this? Now let's climb inside, because the interior is where you really find out who this truck is built for. The cabin of the 2026 Toyota Stout 4X4 feels refreshingly straightforward. Everything is where you expect it to be. No weird angles, no overcomplicated layouts that make you hunt for basic controls. The materials focus more on durability than luxury, which honestly fits the Stout's personality. It reminds you of long-lasting Toyota workhorses like the Hilux and Land Cruiser, trucks that people trust for years, sometimes decades. But that doesn't mean the Stout is stuck in the past. You still get modern touches like digital driver displays, smartphone connectivity, and driver assist features that help quietly in the background instead of constantly demanding your attention. Compared to competitors that are going all in on massive touchscreens, the Stout feels more practical, with physical controls you can actually use while wearing gloves. Would you rather have fewer screens and more buttons in a truck, or do you want your pickup to feel like a rolling tablet? The seating position is upright and commanding, giving you that proper king-of-the-road view ahead. It's the kind of driving posture that makes long trips less tiring and off-road sections less stressful because you can actually see what's in front of you. Storage areas are scattered around the cabin in smart places, spaces for tools, documents, water bottles, and everyday essentials. Compared to something like the Nissan Frontier, the Stout's interior feels designed to age gracefully. It's not chasing trends that will look outdated in 3 years. It feels like a cabin that will still feel solid and trustworthy after hundreds of thousands of kilometers. If you had to choose, would you sacrifice some luxury features for an interior that feels built to last? Now let's get to the heart of the truck, the engine. This is usually where Toyota plays its strongest card. The 2026 Toyota Stout 4X4 isn't trying to win spec sheet wars with crazy horsepower numbers just to impress in headlines. Instead, the focus is on usable torque, sensible fuel efficiency, and long-term reliability. This is the kind of setup that makes sense for people who actually use their trucks for towing, hauling, and driving on rough terrain. Compared to some turbo-heavy rivals that promise thrilling performance but sometimes raise questions about long-term durability, the Stout's approach feels refreshingly honest. The four-wheel drive system is clearly designed for control and confidence, whether you're on loose gravel, muddy trails, sandy paths, or slippery roads. What would you choose? Extreme power that you rarely get to use, or consistent performance you can rely on every single day? Toyota's reputation suggests that the Stout's engine options will be tuned for real-world conditions. In places where fuel quality isn't always perfect and road conditions can be unpredictable, that kind of tuning matters a lot. Practical fuel economy and longer service intervals could make the Stout cheaper to own over time compared to rivals like the Ford Ranger or Chevy Colorado. This isn't a truck built for drag races or show-off moments. It's built for everyday life, work days, road trips, and unexpected detours. How much does fuel economy actually matter to you when you're choosing a 4x4 pickup? Now let's talk about the question everyone's thinking about: price. While official numbers will vary depending on the market, the 2026 Toyota Stout 4X4 is expected to land in a competitive sweet spot. Think of it as the smart middle ground, more capable than entry-level budget pickups, but more accessible than full-size trucks that can stretch your wallet. Compared to the Hilux, the Stout could appeal to buyers who want Toyota reliability without stepping into the higher price brackets. If Toyota positions this right, the Stout could become a go-to choice for contractors, outdoor adventurers, and even families who need a tough, dependable vehicle that can handle both daily duties and weekend escapes. What price point would make this truck an instant yes for you? So let's wrap this up with the final verdict. The 2026 Toyota Stout is back in this bold golden color isn't trying to be the flashiest pickup in the lineup. It's aiming to be the most trustworthy one. It blends classic pickup values, strength, practicality, and reliability with just enough modern tech to stay relevant in today's market. The design feels honest, the interior feels sensible, and the mechanical focus is clearly on long-term dependability. In a segment where so many trucks are chasing trends and flashy features, the Stout stands out by sticking to Toyota's core philosophy of building vehicles that people can rely on for years. Now I want to hear from you. Would you pick the new Toyota Stout 4X4 over the Hilux, Ranger, or D-Max if you were shopping today? And how do you feel about that golden color, bold move, or perfect choice? Drop your thoughts in the comments because your opinion shapes the conversation here on DriveZone Meter. If you enjoyed this walk-around and want more real, no-nonsense car content, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow DriveZone Meter for more honest reviews, first looks, and updates.